We're about to show you the gameplay from Tokyo Game Show. They had a demo and we got some footage for you. We're going to break a lot of things down here. This is the initial impressions and deep dive into what we saw. We're starting off with the menu, and in here you're getting to see the environment for the first area. This is where your book bag is. And it's pretty straightforward, but it looks amazing and it's very, very beautiful aesthetically. So props to them for that. And you can actually change the color and things like that in this menu, and you can zoom in and so on. And they showcase it as you're watching here. So definitely awesome stuff. By the way, I do got giveaways for this game, so make sure you leave a comment, and I will be just selecting winners throughout the year, all the way up until release, and then I'll take care of all you guys. All right, with that out of the way, yes, it's going down. This is amazing stuff. We got a snippet of the actual demo, and there's a lot to break down. And also the hotline show, I will have a breakdown on that. We're getting translations on that right now, and once that's done, I'll make sure I give you guys the full update. There's a lot of key information on that show as well that I would definitely want to talk about in the near future. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. You can see for the demo, and again, I'm assuming here for the demo they only had easy and normal. They didn't want people to go through the struggles and all of that stuff. And all of this is in Japanese. There was no sound for me to give you other than the commentators for the most part. There is sound in the game, but we're not going to play that until we can get pure gameplay, which I'm sure we will. I think Konami most likely, if they do the right thing, they'll get us something like that. And so for the HUD, as you can see, the index keeps changing as you go to different locations. You have some green on, so when you get closer to the grass. And this right here is the first thing I want to talk about, the dodge slash roll. This is the Phantom Pain, and so it's using some of the Phantom Pain mechanics, and you can see Snake is moving pretty fast. If you ask me, everybody thought he was going to move slow, but I feel like he's moving decently fast. And this dodge right here definitely is more towards the original, and it's definitely not the Phantom Pain dive. They were saying in some impressions a couple months ago that it was a dive, but they were wrong. A roll is different from a dodge. And so yeah, he's rolling, he's not diving. And you know, the typical mechanics to get these awesome things, and you can see the physics of him dropping down. And they just wanted to showcase some of this. Again, this is the pure demo from one of the producers as they showcased it live for the hotline show, which I'll be covering a little later. But they did teach us a few little key things. And one of the first things that you're going to see, you're actually going to be able to go into these Kodaks. And we know that we saw a cutscene of this, a picture of this. I showed it in one of my videos. But now we have confirmation that old school is still here, but with that 3D feel of him holding the Kodak and talking. And it's going to be interesting to see when he's in prison or whatever happens in the game. I don't want to spoil it too heavily. When things happen, will he be wearing different clothes? Will he be injured? Will that render in real time? And that's the question I have. And hopefully it does, but we'll see. And super interesting. And we saw this, but what we didn't see is that now there's a skip scene for this. You can literally just go into the menu and skip it right away. That way, for the speedrunners and people who play the game a million times like myself, I'm not skipping anything. I'm probably going to play this 10 times before I skip a cutscene. Maybe some Kodaks, but not the cutscenes, guys. I'm sorry. And if you first time you play this and you skip one cutscene, then you're done for. You're cooked. I'm calling it now, guys. Let me know their username so we can ban them from our channel and our community. Appreciate everybody in the community, by the way. I love you guys. It's been awesome. But as you can see, the graphics are good. We've seen this already in the previous trailer. There's nothing new with that. But we start getting extra scenes in these scenarios that are going to be game changing. Specifically just gameplay. All right, you guys know me. I'm going to break this down a lot deeper than I'm doing today. but we're going into it. And again, these translations are things that I need information for. So if you know anything and you can read in Japanese, please let me know if you can read and translate words as well. We need a team on this. So we'll get it done by the end of the day. It's late night. I'm probably going to stay up until I get this done. And so you can see, you can always capture, if you guys are new to the game, you can capture animals and then save them for later if you want to eat them, or you can actually do something even better and use them against enemies, like a snake, throwing it at an enemy, which we saw in one of my last videos. And now he's just showcasing the new aiming system. And what I can say about that is the Phantom Pain. Heavily, easily. And then this right here is very important because that loading screen is the traditional way. And what they said is they want to keep the traditional feel. So the loading areas are there, very small, quick, but it just shows you're going to a new area. It's kind of like another level. Every area is a different level. And so this is the tutorial, but they definitely wanted to do that. And we're going to pause, take a pause, and we're going to showcase everything that's in here. These are the things that we've always had. There's nothing new except this compass. I don't know what the words are saying there. We broke it down in our last video, but in this video, you got the objective, which is going to be yellow. And then you have the actual north, east, west, south. So that is a new, interesting mechanic just to have. And I'm sure new players will probably really like it. Of course, I know the map in and out for the most part. There's not much I'm going to need to navigate, but hey, it's very cool to have a feature for those who need it. And if you guys don't know, there's this sonar, the motion detector, the AP sensor, your revive tooth, and your goggles. And so this is pretty cool. Well, we're going to keep on pushing forward. We want to see this action right here. This is very important because that is the Phantom Pain 100%. It feels fluid, smooth from what I'm seeing. Of course, I haven't played this and I definitely like it. There's a couple of other key things that they showcase in this preview that are very important, in my opinion, to pay attention to and know how you do this. It feels like these things are pausing as he goes into them. You can see that I'm going to pause it myself, but the background kind of pauses. If you watch the leaves, and this is important, and I'm going to rewind this specific area very quickly just to let you guys see that. This is something I was questioning. The old game, when you went into your menu, it would pause everything. So watch the leaves in this next area and you tell me if I'm correct or wrong. So every time he opens the menu, the leaves stop blowing on the floor, the grass. And so that just shows me that you can pause the game like the traditional way in the old school days. In the middle of a fight, you can do it. So I'm not mad at that. The real time would have been intense for the game. I think keeping it traditional will make it easier for those like myself who's used to it. But for the new players, I'm curious to see how they feel. And there's other games that do this as well. It's just that, some of the modern stuff I really like as well. Real time would have been interesting. We would have seen how like top players can perform on speed runs or just in general intense moments. You can't just pause it. But okay, so now we're seeing the sonar in action. The motion detector in action. And we're looking at our objective and the compass. And then now he's starting to zoom in. And I want to kind of take a moment to talk about this area. If you guys are new to the game, there's a bunch of alligators in here. We don't get to really see the alligators if they're gonna eat us alive. But interesting. And so this area is your introduction tutorial, and it's basically showing you how to get around, how to move, how to shoot a couple items and different things. And this right here, the most iconic collectible in this game. There's a bunch of these. Don't want to spoil how many or anything like that. I know some people treasure their private but yeah, they're promoting this heavily. You're gonna find them in every section, and this is why those sections that load up are important, because it tells you, hey, you didn't find one in that area, go back and grab it. And so it's important to grab them in certain areas that they'll be located depending on the game, right? Like certain areas that are very key are always going to have one and things like that. So it's a pretty awesome, fun little collectible if you want to do it. And they just were promoting this heavily, and they pretty much kind of were very smart about this. They were promoting a bunch of different things while they were doing their video, so they would pause and stop. And what was cool about this part right here is that it actually hit it and it basically makes some noises and stuff. And I'm going to pause this for a second. You can see right here the beehive. That's an interactable item. If you shoot it, the bees will drop and they'll start attacking anybody nearby, whether it's you or enemies. And then on top of that, they drop some honey for you and some serum, some cool stuff right there that you can pick up. There's a lot of stuff in this area, so if you play the game, make sure you take a moment to look around. You'll find some items that you might need if you're trying to survive. Another cool feature, we've seen this before, as is dripping in mud. Very important to kind of take a note of. And we're going to pause it right here, all right? There's a lot in this menu that I wish I could see. The cure system wasn't in the Tokyo Game Show, so we're not going to see that at all today in this video. But a little bit of food, maybe a little bit of cameo, and we're going to get into it right now. They did a good job kind of showcasing this feature. I was asking about this feature as well because the people who played it didn't really explain it properly. You can go into the traditional way. This is the original way we used to be able to go into the menu. But the truth is, this isn't as modern and useful to be able to do it on the go. So they did implement something. And by the way, just look at this. I mean, we're going to talk about the visuals, like the texture of the outfit, his hair. I mean, we just be here all day just complimenting Snake, right? But in the end of the day, this area is very old school. Like, you had to go into the menu to change your things and switch things, and so the fact that they're adding on top of what was there already and saying, hey, we're going to give you guys an option to, which you're going to see in a minute, what's the option to allow you to do it in game and just swap on the fly. I think that's better for me. I don't want to be in a menu all day unless I have to be. But yeah, but it's a good change of pace. And so in here, this is the key thing where they changed their camo and they're just displaying some of these features. And you can tell you're not blending in too much. You're actually a -10. So he taps, I believe, the D-pad, swaps, and it loads. Remember, it loads. This is not going to be quick. So you have to load. After you select the camo, it will load you. Pause the game for a second. Load you into whatever new camo. I don't think you can do this during fights, but you can do it in here, which was very cool to see how that works and how it goes. Again, we're going to get translations for the whole show and break this down a lot deeper to see what else they've talked about. This is strictly from my first impressions and sharing that with you guys, giving you the rundown. I'm sure they had some more details about things that I'm possibly missing, but so far so good. And now we're going to get into the one and the only radio. And again, the menu pauses here. You want to look at the grass during that time, and I'm going to rewind it. You see the grass moving, and the moment that you open up that menu, it stops moving. So you are pausing the game. Even though they're quick buttons, you're still pausing the game, just like the old school version, which that's okay with me. I have no problem with that. But very interesting to kind of go through. And right here, he's making some phone calls, and you can quick call certain people and go into the Kodak. I used to be in these Kodaks for hours. For every animal I picked up, I would do that. Then they have the food, and we want to get into this, okay? We don't have much in here other than the promotion that they're about to show. But we have the snake, which you can eat, or you can use as a trap or distraction for the enemies. And then the calorie mates. We're not going to spend too much time on this, guys, because they're just basically promoting their brand and all the stuff that they're doing, which is always cool. Kojima always had this in his games. He always has something to promote, which is a smart move for business, right? And Konami is the one who initiated that. So props to them. But we're going to skip that quick poster of it We're gonna check out the real thing in 3D, the new version, and go from here. And again, the demo was very short, but it gave me some of the things I was curious about that I wanted fully confirmed and I can see for myself. So super cool stuff so far, in my opinion, that I really loved and that I'm learning from this actual game. And we're gonna try to fast forward it here and allow Snake to get his act together. You can throw it or eat it. Of course, you're probably not gonna throw it and you're gonna eat that. And hopefully the throwing mechanic is smooth, and you know, it looks like it's a little bit somewhat like the old school where you're a little stiff and you can't just like run and gun throw too heavily, but hey, more than fine. We're gonna be good. And so this is pretty much the demo for the most part, guys. There was not a lot of extra footage. I'm gonna play some stuff back and talk about a couple of little key things that I didn't address right away. But this is an amazing start, right? I would like a player to have a full demo and actually play this mission and go through the whole thing. That would be what I would personally want. Now let's get into the start. This is important. All right, so remember the surveys of questions that you asked. Did you like part 1 or part 2? Well, they have that and more options. And then they have this right here where this is what type of style you want to play. The legacy style with the camera over the head with the control systems, or you're going to jump in and try to play with the new ones. I'm going for the new ones. I'm going to be honest. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully it's very much improved, because I feel like the Phantom Pain is good enough. And if they just use that, we're good to go either way, because that gameplay is fire. And so I don't have too much concerns with that. I really feel good and comfortable about what they're doing, in my opinion. To each his own. Go ahead and share some things that you might have found. Share some things that you have questions about. I would love to answer. I'm doing a recap of the Hotline show and a bunch of other things on the channel. Literally today, I'm dropping a lot of bangers. So stick around for that and make sure you share your thoughts. And the new videos should be popping up on screen right now. When this comes out, I'll have those ready as well. Make sure you jump into the giveaway. All right, I'll see y'all there, man. Stay blessed. Catch you on that next one. Go check it out. I'm leaving. Peace.